Everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel, Love for Intuitive Astrology. Today I want to discuss a conjunction in astrology named the Pluto Conjunct Ascendant. And the reason why I want to discuss this is because, among others, I have this in my own chart, so I can talk from experience. And also as an astrologer, I couldn't find many sources that were explaining it very correctly, or the feelings that, or the situations and feelings that this planet brings. So yeah, let's break the taboos as Pluto does and talk about this planet. And I also want to discuss a little bit what this planet does for the 12th house and what it does if you have this positioned in your first house. So the 12th house is related to everything unseen, everything hidden. So if you have your Pluto conjunct your ascendant, but more on the 12th house side, it is more hidden and you're not very aware what this planet really does to you. So Pluto is the planet of power, the planet of the underworld. So the Pluto conjunct the ascendant has a really bad reputation. When you look it up online, everyone is dark appearance and very taboo-like, but actually I love colors, so it has nothing to do with that. There is some traits that I will tell you later that will define this Pluto conjunct the ascendant, but absolutely you always have to see the chart as a whole. But when you have Pluto, this planet of the, I was explaining, it's the planet of the underworld, it's the planet of actually it's the planet that's rising from the ashes, so sometimes we have to go deep and we have to go low before we go up to the light. And actually Pluto is the planet of the dirty work of doing so, so people with Pluto on the ascendant, but more in the 12th house, they have this power to see into the underworld, because the ascendant is the way we present ourselves in the world and how people perceive us actually. So the people with Pluto on the ascendant, they might come across as very intimidating because Pluto sees the dark side of life. So that is why many of people with this placement are very good psychics, therapists, psychologists, anything related, they might be really good with handling addictions or might have had their own addictions in the past as well. So this facade on the outside has nothing to do with how you are on the inside, but this is how you present yourself. So yeah, of course, Pluto brings the person very penetrating eyes. So it's like you're seeing through people, and that's what makes you intimidating. There is this aura of mystery, especially with the ones that have a Scorpio ascendant. The people you who might be watching, you might be Libra or Sagittarius or Scorpio. If you have it in Scorpio, it is in its own house, so it feels very comfortable, but it also adds an extra layer to the planet Pluto and gives an extra mystery around your whole aura, and people will notice when you're walking in, because it gives you this vibe of don't deal with me or watch out for me. It's very intimidating. And what is more uncomfortable than someone that comes into the room and presents you a mirror of the dark side within yourself? So most likely either people love you or they hate you, because who's ready to face their dark side, So it presents in many ways. So if you have it more in your 12th house, let's say conjunction up to 5 degrees. If you have less than 1 degree, it acts in both 12th house and first house. And I have it on within 1 degree to the ascendant on the 12th house. So I experience both 12th house and first house experience of the planet of Pluto. So in the 12th house, when you have Pluto there in general or on the ascendant, it's often hidden that you possess this major power. And this is another taboo, you know, you feel this within you, but you are not very conscious about it. And when you're not that conscious about it, you keep meeting people in your life that are awakening this within you or are playing the role that you're not taking and, you know, mirroring it back to you. Because actually, the 12th house is the house of Pisces. And Pisces is the dream world, you know, where things go away. So you might have... or where things are hidden or shown in your dreams. And when Pluto is in the 12th house, you might have a very vivid dream world as well. And, you know, with Pluto on the ascendant, many people are coming from a situation that represents the underworld or chaos, you know? You came into this world, maybe your mother had a very difficult pregnancy, but it could also be that you came into a family that represented the dark side of life, and this is how you already learned how to deal with that side, you know? So on the outside, maybe your family looked very nice and amazing, but on the inside, a lot of power struggles, maybe addictions were going on. And if this was not in your family, it still is, meaning that in your whole family line, there was so much darkness going on that still you carry this from your ancestral line, and it's outing itself in your life. So you're gonna have a lot of things happening to you, and everything that I'm talking about now is both the first house and the 12th house position. The first house is just more aware of it, because the first house is your self-image. So yeah, if you have this family pattern, you know, you can go back in time and there might have been happening very taboo things like rape, like I don't know, like prostitution or murder. There were ancestors that were carrying this darkness inside of them, and it outed itself until you in the family line. And you're aware of it, like you are landing in a life of chaos. It's like, it's something you signed up for, but it's like, wow, okay, I'm not sure what is happening. And in the first house, you're very aware of it. You're very aware of your own power. You're very aware of your own intensity. But in the 12th house, you're like, what's going on? You feel like a victim to your own life until you own your own power, till you own your own it's actually a very, very perceptive planet, and there's not many people who take on this responsibility of seeing the darkness and turning it into the light. So when they were born in this chaos, or when you are born in this chaos, there's many ways this person goes, you know. It could be that you use this psychic perception to manipulate, and this happens sometimes. Yes, it does, but there's many people who are using it to change a lot of people around them. It's like a catalyst of change, because they can see through the darkness, and only through the darkness you can see the light. So this is like a big responsibility. That's kind of how it feels. It's like you were born with this in this chaos, and you feel like you have the power to solve the situation within your family. And if you are willing to take to clean up, to purify what has been happening in your family line, it's very important that you forgive your ancestors. That's very, very important. They didn't know any better. They were having their life experiences, and you are able to perceive this feeling and transform it into something brighter, into the light. So it's very important, if you have your Pluto on your ascendant, that you meditate and that you take on this spiritual journey, because life will keep hitting you on the head until you transform into something bigger than yourself, that you do something for the world or something that fulfills you, that changes people. And this will give you in return a very satisfied feeling about yourself, and you are able to do that. So, you know, like, feel within yourself this power. It's okay. And, you know, it's very, it's a taboo on its own to say or to admit to yourself that you feel that way. So you can admit it to yourself, because you are able to change a lot of people into a really bright direction. And it's not something very easy, you know? So all the negativity that it's presenting, a lot of sources are presenting, it's not like that at all. It is something really beautiful, and it really depends on the other connections in your chart. But really, what is happening is that life is very intense for Pluto conjunct the Ascendant. So life is much more intense. You can recognize people with the penetrating eyes. It's like these people, it's like they look right through you, and it's intimidating. But at the same time, it's intriguing. And also what is happening is that these people do look right through you, unfortunately, depending if it's in your 12th or your first house. The first house people are more perceptive. They're more perceptive because they have it in it's more upfront than 12th house people. They carry it with them, and they're more like a mystery, and it's a mystery to themselves as well, what's happening with them. So they might go from one extreme to another, taking on the power or taking on this strength and then letting it go. And then you meet people who are manipulating you, who are actually they awaken this power within you, this perception within you. So you meet other people who are like bouncing against the wall. And this is the same with the first house. You're a little bit more aware of this power, this intensity, this capability of perception, because it's like we feel a lot. There's a lot of feeling. If someone thinks something, it's almost like we perceive this message. And so you might be thinking like, okay, you feel what people think. It's crazy. And then there's a lot of inappropriate situations. That's also, you know, we're here to discuss the taboo, so let's do this, you know. But yeah, it's a lot of times people are very inappropriate. And this is because they don't know what to do with your energy. You awaken something within them, either uncomfortable, either sexual, either strange. It's the planet of the underworld. So all these hidden feelings within people are awakened when they see you. So they might awaken some sexual feelings, and there might be people that are way out of your age, or, you know, very, very inappropriate encounters that it's almost like they can't help themselves. So you are this catalyst, and you will walk against the wall many times in your life. So this is because people are so triggered by your presence, and for you as a person, this is not very easy to carry, because you feel like you're a victim in your own life. Like, why is this happening to me? Why people are so mean or so frustrated? Like, you are actually really into honesty. Like, you want to be honest to the world. You don't dislike all this dishonesty. But at the same time, if you're an undeveloped Pluto conjunct the ascendant, you might misuse this. So if you do use this power for lies and manipulation, I want to tell you, you are meant to do something bigger with it, something on a bigger scale, or something that changes your environment. And if you use this for the wrong, it's not okay, because deep within you have a feeling that you need to do what's right, and you don't like anyone lying to you or anyone being dishonest. So it's very important that you reflect, you start reflecting this from yourself. And even though you attract people that are going to be dishonest with you, because they're so threatened by your presence that they sometimes lie to you because they're afraid of your reaction, and you might from the inside be much more innocent than from the outside. People have this very different perception. Like, for example, I have my sun in Virgo, so it's like I'm very different from the inside than the way people perceive me. And this is happening for many of you, you know? It's like, yeah, people perceive you like completely different than who you really are. And you're gonna be in a lot of situations, also in relationships, that because of this need for intensity and because you want to merge with another soul, it's really, you want to experience life on a higher frequency. You want to go to this light. You want to connect to something higher than yourself. And if you don't, you will bump into many situations where you kind of have to, especially when it's in the 12th house. In the first house, I can see many times that these people take big responsibility, and that's because they can take big responsibility and they can handle it, and they can observe the situation and really see what is happening within a group and encourage people to become the best version of themselves. So there's a lot going on with this planet. It's not an easy life, you know, especially in Scorpio, because it's like multiplied. And yeah, there's people having in Libra, Sagittarius, Virgo maybe. And still this presence is very strong, and you still will recognize the things that I'm saying in this video. And the power within you is to connect to something higher than yourself. Really do, because life will keep hitting you until you wake up and see that there's nothing you can control in your life. Because what Pluto on the Ascendant want nothing more is to control the situation, or holding on to something that you can't hold on to. You have to have faith in something bigger than yourself. And even though you're very perceptive and you see a lot, you're easily betrayed. That's one. Because especially when it's in 12th house, you have a blind spot. In the first house, you see it more often. But because of this shock you're bringing people, they tend to still lie to you or not be as good to you as you wish they would, because you're very loyal. If you allow someone in your life, it's usually for a long time and you really mean it and you're there with your heart and soul. And that's why in a relationship, as I mentioned before, you're gonna go for it all the way and you want to be with this person all the way. But sometimes this intensity leads to breakups because it's too intense for the other person and they can't handle it. So you have to find someone that is willing to handle this intensity the same as you do. And most likely this is another Scorpio, or this is someone that has a very Scorpionic chart or a very Taurus related chart. Someone that's loyal and wants the same intensity as you do. So I don't want to generalize the signs or anything. It's just an energy that it carries. And yeah, so if you came in this life and you thought it's unfair, it's time to actually understand that naturally you are this psychic. You do feel and perceive a little bit more than other people, and other people perceive much more than you think when they look at you, you know? It does something with them. And when you talk, you hit people right in the rose. It's like it's like a Scorpio stinging 10 times more. And it's not something you do consciously, but it is because you perceive someone and you are here to be someone's mirror, to show other people what to do with their shadow work. So what better jobs are there than, I don't know, be a mystic or be a shaman. A lot of shamans have Pluto conjunct the Ascendant, and what is really important is that you raise to a higher vibration so you can get people out of the underworld through the light. And you know, it's a hard job. You know, you can work with problematic children and bring them to a better place. People who have been through abuse, maybe you have been through abuse, and you're doing something that brings these people to the next level. And it's something that the world needs. So don't be discouraged by the negativity that you break loose into people, because that happens, and it's annoying. It is, but also see how much good you can do with these qualities. And it's so important to not use this power of perception, this feeling that you have when you're surrounded by people, that you don't use it to manipulate or control, because control is something that's one of the issues, you know, the intensity and the control, because you're so afraid that someone will go out of your life, because many times people come and go because the shadow work is getting too much for them, and they will leave you, and you feel like you want to control the situation. So people don't leave, or but it's really up to the higher power to where you need to go in your life. So yeah, believe, have faith. And it's so important for you to meditate, to reach a higher state of consciousness. That's one of the things that's really, really into this life path for you. And use it to do good for the world. Don't misuse it for the bad. And I feel that there's a lot of information that's showing only the negative side, like sexual taboos and all these kind of things. It's it's a little bit too much. There can be so much good done with this position, and yeah, it's intimidating for people, and yes, it's heavy to carry. So honestly, you are a very evolved soul. If you got Pluto on the Ascendant, you're an evolved soul, and you have a lot of karma lessons to solve before you get to the light where you need to be. But you are capable of doing this, and you came into this life with the capability of solving these karmic patterns. So it's very, very important for you to understand what are your repetitive cycles that are happening since you were born. And if you understand these repetitive cycles, you understand your repetitive cycles from your ancestral line. And then you can transform yourself into a higher consciousness. You clean up your family line, you're purifying it, you're forgiving them. It's so important to forgive yourself, because when you grow up, you have no idea what's happening to you. A lot of times you feel a little bit different because you're so perceptive and you don't know why. And there's a lot of chaotic situations that putting you there, and it's without you even trying. So you feel you're constantly put in difficult situations, and this is already training you to have multiple rebirths, and you will have it until the end. But especially at the beginning of your life is going to bring you many depths, maybe depression, maybe something that brings you to the underworld to understand what's going on out there. And then they bring you to a higher level, a higher consciousness. And it's very important for you to act on mindfulness, to follow this journey of a mystic. And you can be mystic in many ways, you know, it's not just, you don't have to be an astrologer like me or a tarot reader, but you can be that in many ways. You can, if you understand the psyche, you can become any caterpillar, like you can become any catalyst you can become a doctor, you can become a psychologist, a therapist, anything, like I said, because it will help a lot of people. It's not going to be convenient for you, and it's not going to be convenient for them. And I'm so sorry that you were born to have this mirror, but also I'm not sorry because people need you. And just remember that you are amazing. Own your power, and power is not, let me be clear. Power is not controlling other people. Power is being comfortable in your own skin and work with this load, with this energy that you have, this inner power, this strength to help a lot of people in your life, because you're able to carry a lot. But never misuse it. Always use it for the good, and understand the layers of the existence of other people. And when you do that, you can really change a lot, and your life will become easier, and it will be easier for you to recognize all the patterns and get out of the karmic cycles, because Pluto can create a lot of chaos, because from Pluto, the underworld, comes rebirth. You know, that, not physical death, and then you rise as a phoenix from the ashes, and you keep doing that until you're on a higher level of consciousness, and from that position you can dive into the underworld and get everyone out and bring them to the light with you. And it's an amazing journey, and yeah, you are very special, and I don't want you to ever give up or feel that you can not handle it, because it is a lot to handle. But yeah, if other people start controlling you, start manipulating you, remember, you haven't owned your own inner power. You haven't owned your own inner strength. And this is very important to do. Yeah, so this is basically what I wanted to share with you today. I would love to hear your opinion. Like, do you have your Pluto in the 12th house, in the 1st house, conjunct ascendant, which side? Yeah, what are your experiences? What kind of family you grew up in? I would like to know how it is presenting in your life. Have you been betrayed? How did you deal with situations? And what is your job? So please leave a comment. I'm so curious to hear your story. Yeah, as you see, like, my story is that I'm embracing all the taboos. I'm an astrologer. I do tarot readings, and I also work in SEO. So everything weird, because it's also with a strong Uranus influence. So everything taboo and weird, bring it on. So I would encourage you to do the same, because it's okay. That's why you're here. And yeah, if you like my video, please subscribe to my channel. I would love to see you again. I'm doing a lot of monthly forecasts as well, so don't miss out on those. And if you would like to know other conjunctions, trines, sextiles, whatever in astrology, please let me know, and I want to make more videos like this. Thank you so much. Hope to see you soon again. Bless you so much. You're so amazing.